Today we will be talking about the top 10 mistakes that adult students make when they first start learning the cello. Be sure to watch to the end because I will be going from not so terrible mistake till the number one mistake that you can make when you are learning the cello. I will also be going over how to avoid these. Now, you may notice I am in a little bit of a different location today. I am in the beautiful BC near Kootenay Lake. Very beautiful here. And it is inspiring me to go a little deeper on why I play the cello, because beauty in nature and my cello is so connected. Okay, so let's get right into it. Mistake number 10, not taking enough time to choose a cello that's right for you. So I believe that a player makes a cello, not a cello making a player. And the reason why I believe this is because good technique and a good teacher, good instruction, it can really trump a bad cello. A professional cellist can make any cello sound really good. However, a lot of people, they maybe choose the wrong size of cello, especially if you're maybe 12 or even 9 years old and you're still growing. Cellos are a bit like horses. They have their own personality, their own temperament, and they all produce different colors that can change the nuances in the sound. My cello takes a little bit of coaxing to get a good sound out of it, but I have learned over the last, I believe about 10 years of playing Genevieve, that she just needs a little bit more coaxing, and I know how to get a good sound out of her now. On a more practical note, cellos come in many different sizes. You have all the way from a 16th size, 8th size, quarter, all the way to a full size. So if you're an adult and you're average height, then, or even taller, you'll probably just need a full size cello. Not really too much thinking there. However, if you are very short, maybe have a very small frame, a 3/4 cello may be the one for you. Look up luthiers and music shops in your area to get a good idea of what's good for you. There are professionals there that can help you figure out a cello that is perfect for you. Mistake number 9. So a lot of people that just begin the cello, they just see it as like a very large violin, and they don't realize that there's something at the very bottom of the cello that's called an end pin. And a lot of people, they forget to buy something called a rock stop or end pin stopper. And basically what this does is it stops the cello from slipping forward, and then when you're playing, you can just relax your left hand and your right arm right onto the cello fingerboard and onto the strings. And if you don't have the rock stop, it's just kind of keep slipping forward. You're gonna have to hold on. This creates a lot of tension, and a lot of beginner cellists, they just don't realize that this is something they need. So if you're beginning the cello and you don't have one of these, go get one. We're down to mistake number 8. So this one is all about the bow. So have you ever heard of something called rosin? Rosin is actually made out of tree sap. And then your bow hair, it's horsehair. So if the horsehair does not have something called rosin on it, it's like a powdery substance that you get in a cake. If it doesn't have it on it, then you can't really produce any kind of sound. It's just gonna sound like a type sound on the strings. So rosin really amplifies the hair, makes sure that you can actually produce a sound on your cello. And I've had students that they arrive at their very first lesson and they don't have any rosin. And they tell me before the lesson they tried creating a sound on the cello and they just weren't able to. So make sure that you buy some rosin along with your cello. Number 7. The next mistake is not learning how to tune your cello. As you may have seen from performances, or maybe you've looked up videos how to tune a cello on the internet before, you've probably noticed like they either move little, what we call fine tuners at the very bottom of the cello, or they move the larger pegs that's at the top of the cello. So the pegs will move the string in wider increments, kind of change the sound drastically. The fine tuners is exactly what it says it is. It fine tunes each string. So if you don't learn how to properly tune your cello, you're gonna have a lot of problems with learning left-hand intonation. So kind of like a guitar, you press down the string and the note changes. However, we do not have frets on the cello. So if your cello is improperly tuned, you're not going to learn the proper muscle memory of where your fingers are supposed to go. And that can become a problem if you want to learn more advanced pieces. You can kind of make do with it in the beginning, but it's not good to have that as your basics, as your foundation, because your ears are going to get used to what maybe finger 1 on the D string sounds like, or finger 4 on the A string. So be sure to learn how to tune your cello. I'll be making some videos in the future, exactly giving you your step-by-step on how to do this. Okay, so now we're at mistake number 6. And this one is about not doing a proper warm-up. So playing the cello is quite athletic. It raises your heart rate a little bit. And if you don't have a good practice warm-up routine, then you're gonna either get injuries and you're not gonna be able to build your cello skills to the level that you want it to become. On cello, we use larger muscles, we're in our back, and then we also use our shoulders, biceps, your arms are going to be very active, but then there's also your fingers. Your fingers need to they all have tiny little muscles all the way through, and you need to do warm-up exercises. This is one of my favorite. I do circles, and you can do wrist circles, you can do arm circles, any kind of circles, always good to get the blood flowing. Mistake number 5. Not employing good and disciplined but fun practice techniques. How you practice is the musician you become. Most of your playing is done in the practice room. So if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know how to practice, you're not going to make the progress that you're looking for. You're going to get frustrated, discouraged, but there is a way. And I actually outline a few of my favorite practice strategies that I teach to my students every week in this video. So I'll make sure to link it both up in the corner and in the description box below so you can go and check that one out. Mistake 4, trying to progress too quickly. The cello is one of the hardest instruments that you can learn, but it is so worth it. So if you're just starting on your cello journey and you're getting frustrated with how much time it's taking, then you may just have a little bit of a lack of patience. And I am okay with saying this bluntly because I have had the same problem before. I often struggle with the patience of just progressing every day, just doing the work every single day consistently to be able to get somewhere. But if you realize that cello is just something that's going to take a while and you see it as a journey and you start to enjoy each practice session just as it is, then you're going to have so much more fun. And over time, your work will pay off. Even if you're not seeing results right now, it's going to make a difference. And 3, so if you don't learn how to read music, you're going to feel very gypped on the kind of pieces that you get to play. Learning by ear, only a few select people have this talent, and you may have tried to learn things by ear before and been successful, but ask yourself how long it took. Did it take you a few weeks to learn it, maybe a few months? A lot of students who try to learn things by ear and don't take the time to learn the skill of reading music, they get very frustrated very quickly. And this video is all about giving you the solution to feeling frustrated. So be sure to check out my very first video that I published on this channel, all about reading music. It's going to help you so much just to be able to figure out those pieces that you are just wishing that you could play. Okay, 3 more mistakes left. Not getting a professional and qualified teacher is one of the biggest mistakes that beginner cellists make. It is an investment, but if you truly want to learn the cello and you want to experience that joy in your life, then get someone who knows what they're doing. The number one thing that I'm grateful for in my life is that I got teachers that were professional, that they knew what they were doing, they had a love for the instrument, and they wanted to pass on that love for the instrument down to their students. This is why I created Inner Voice Institute of Music. It is to help you discover your inner voice in playing the cello. It's in there. We just have to find it together. And if that's something that you are interested in, I have a link below in the description box where you can sign up for lessons. Okay, 2 more left. Number 2, not focusing on a good sound. Whenever I teach what I call a trial lesson, Something that I always ask them is, why did you start the cello? What interested you to even buy the instrument and put in the time to set up a lesson? Their answer is always the sound. The sound of the cello is so captivating, and they really want to learn how to create that good sound themselves. So the second biggest mistake that you can make as an adult cellist learning the cello is forgetting to practice sound. What I like to do every time that I do a practice session is to just play some open strings, kind of remember what it is to create the sound. There are 4 ingredients to good sound, and I'm going to be going through my 4-step method to creating a good sound and troubleshooting it on your own in future videos. The biggest mistake, number 1 mistake that you can make when you are learning the cello as a beginner adult student is forgetting your inspiration. You need to remember why you even wanted to play the cello in the first place. I still have to remind myself of this every now and then when I get discouraged, when I'm learning a very difficult piece and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it correctly or I'm struggling. My big why for learning the cello. When I was about 12 or 13 years old, my music history teacher, he out of the blue just asked me, "Why do you play the cello, Ina?" And I was kind of taken aback. I had never really thought about this at a deeper level. I always knew that I loved the cello. I knew that it gave me fulfillment and joy, and I knew it inspired me to do big things with my life. But I never really asked myself the question, why do I, Ina, play the cello? And he told me that if you want to really go for this as your career, you have to have that answer. If you don't, you're not going to be able to get anywhere with the instrument. It'll always be a mystery to you. And he also told me, if your answer is just because you love it, try to go deeper. For many years, I struggled to figure out what the answer is for this, because cello is something that I've done since I was very young. But I knew deep within me that there was a deeper reason, beyond just, I love the cello. And I realized that the cello is this magical instrument that can help you discover your inner voice and give you an outlet for your emotions. Now, many, many years later, I know that this is true. I play the cello because it is my inner voice. It is the voice that I felt I didn't have as a 12, 13-year-old. It is the voice that allows me to express myself, show the world the beauty of music and all the stories that the composers have told over hundreds of years. This makes me so excited that I get to share this with my students. They don't have to go through the same turmoil and frustration of not being able to have a voice when I was growing up. They're able to, after just a few lessons, feel that emotion that the cello can bring and actually have an outlet for the emotions that they're feeling. So if you feel like you don't have a voice, then maybe learning the cello is for you. Learning the cello is something that you do need to think about and make a good decision for. So that is why I made this video, so you can make sure that you don't make those 10 mistakes. But that is all for today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. It helps my business so much. And also subscribe to my newsletter. I have a link for that in the description box below. I want you to be able to discover your inner voice and have a voice to express yourself. Whether you are 13, whether you're 50, whether you're 70, or any age, the cello could be for you. So I hope that you have a wonderful day.